Running game. Everybody talks about the passing game. What about the running game?
Again, very complimentary of their back. Last year when we played teams with running quarterbacks, those are things that we struggled with. And just watching him, they got great, really fast backs, really active. Probably the best offensive line we've seen thus far. But the guys make plays, and they stick around, and all of a sudden you see an explosive play, so you can never, ever go to sleep on them. They do a good job. They're probably one of the best receivers in the conference, so you can't just load the box because they go one-on-one with you with number one and create explosive plays for them.
Your linebacking core is doing so well this year. They seem to be explosive. Are they taking coaching really well this year? Are they really listening, and has that kind of been a key to the
Yeah, it's just the communication. It's more than anything else. The communication has gotten a lot better. And guys are knowing. They've been in the system for a couple of years. Jansen, we do with Coach Jansen, we go through a ton of walkthroughs, a ton of talking, and just getting guys used to playing concepts. That's one thing that when we came in last year, the communication was kind of low. But as guys got, along with the season, farther in the season, the communication picked up. And then with AJ, being an experienced Mike linebacker and Jalen Reeves-Maven being a really cerebral kid, it's a good mixture. And we just got to get some more depth developed with the Jacobs and the McDowells as well as the Kenny Bynums.
A lot of these teams these days run that kind of shotgun spread, no huddle, hurry up kind of deal. Is there anything that makes Ole Miss different? Is it just the players are different?
Got a quarterback. You got a quarterback that's active and they believe in him. You can tell the team they rally around the kid, and man, he makes a lot of plays for him. And you watch him and you think a play is dead, and all of a sudden he's jumping over guys trying to fight for the first down. So, he's the guy that make him tick. When he's on, he's on. He probably had his best game of his career versus Alabama. He made some very difficult throws, and I tell you, those receivers really responded. He's probably looking for another really big game. So we have to be, alignment and assignment and making sure that we get our jobs done, and then make sure that our front line, corral the QB.
Do they put more stress on you than anybody else you play?
Yeah, especially the quarterback running the ball. And it's always a stressful situation when the quarterback runs because your back is turned. And your back is turned, you got tight coverage, but then again, you got a guy that's athletic. And when he's athletic, you turn around and he's 10 yards down the field before you can respond. And then what happens is guys all of a sudden they stop wanting to play match, and there's seams in space between you and the receivers, and then the quarterback can get the ball completed. So yeah, he creates a lot of dilemmas. He throws some of the balls, especially the fade routes, as good as anybody we've seen. And the receiver number one they have in the Treadwell kid is probably the most explosive kid we've seen thus far.
It seems with Bo, he's not making some of the mistakes, the turnovers he was making earlier. What's the difference you see of him on film now versus maybe that Boise game?
Yeah, that's correct. You're absolutely right. He forced a lot of balls in some of those games, and I think now he's a little bit more patient. Whereas now, if it's not there, tuck it and run, and you see it. When the balls are able to be thrown, he can get them in there, but he's not forcing the situations like he did early in the season. So you can tell now, he's been coached and guys have talked to him. You don't have to make every big throw. But yeah, he does as good a job as I've seen in any quarterback we face on keeping drives alive.
Tommy, you're no stranger to this league, obviously coaching in the West and now in the SEC East. And when you've got Ole Miss and Mississippi State being undefeated midway through the season, both ranked top 3 in the country, how much does that make a tough league even tougher when you got programs like Penn coming up and being not just pretty good but elite?
That's everybody we play in this conference. Everybody's going to be good. And you're watching Kentucky now, and they 5 or 6 wins already throughout the season. Georgia's playing really good football. Alabama, Auburn, LSU. Everybody can beat you on any given day. And that's the beauty of the conference, because even though you might be ranked number 1, number 2, you have to bring your A game each and every week. And so our kids, it's a challenge. We get a chance to play with one of the top teams in the country. We played against Georgia. We thought we played well enough to win. We played a really tough team in Florida. We thought we played well enough to win. For this week, we got to just, again, there's no pressure. Just go in there and play the best that you can. Play lineman assignment football and just do your job.
Is that even more so than it was a few years ago, though, in terms of you said anybody can beat anybody? That's
right.
Something that, before it used to be the case, but it seems like now it's especially the case.
Yeah, teams are recruiting well. Everybody's recruiting well and bringing in players, and it's definitely player-driven in the SEC. One time, Bama was so far ahead of everybody as far as being the dominant team in the conference. But what you've seen now is Mississippi State and Ole Miss and those teams have really concentrated on bringing in really good football players and keeping the best talent at home. And so, yeah, every week you play, you got some of the top players in the country that you got to compete against.
Thanks, Tom.